The snack trap begins. Microwave popcorn. You sit down on the couch, press a button on the microwave, and in minutes the room fills with that buttery smell. For decades, microwave popcorn has been the picture of convenience, warm, salty, ready for movie night. But behind that familiar crinkle of the bag is one of the most dangerous illusions in the snack world. Because what feels like harmless comfort food can actually be a cocktail of chemicals that your body never asked for. And for seniors, it's a risk that can turn a casual night in front of the TV into the start of weeks of discomfort. The danger begins with the bag itself. Those shiny paper pouches aren't just paper. They're often lined with chemicals designed to stop grease from soaking through. Compounds like PFAS, sometimes called forever chemicals, because once they enter your body, they don't leave. They accumulate, settling into your system over years, linked by researchers to thyroid problems, kidney strain, immune weakness, even certain cancers. When the bag heats up, those chemicals can leach into the popcorn you're about to eat. It's a toxic handshake dressed up as a movie snack. Then there's the flavor. That buttery aroma isn't just butter. It's often diacetyl or similar artificial flavorings. Inhaling the steam from fresh popped bags has been linked in factory workers to serious lung conditions once nicknamed popcorn lung. If a chemical is strong enough to scar airways after repeated exposure, do you really want it wafting into your living room every Friday night? And even if you're not breathing it in, you're eating it. The taste is addictive by design, engineered to hook your brain's reward centers while your body deals with the fallout. For seniors, this isn't just about strange additives. It's about what they do in the context of an aging body. Kidneys that process slower, immune systems that don't fight as fiercely, hearts that don't tolerate spikes in blood pressure. The sodium levels in a single bag of microwave popcorn can exceed an older adult's recommended daily intake in one sitting. That means swelling in the ankles, pounding headaches, and for those on medication for blood pressure or heart disease, an even higher risk of dangerous interactions. And the illusion of portion control makes it worse. People open a bag planning to have just a little, but by the time the movie hits its climax, the whole bag is gone. That's hundreds of empty calories, piles of sodium, a chemical lining baked right into the snack. And for older adults already managing cholesterol, heart risk, or kidney issues, it's like fueling a fire with gasoline. The packaging never warns you. The commercials never mention it. It's sold as cozy, familiar, and fun. But the reality is that each puff of popcorn carries a hidden toll. Think about how many times you've trusted that smell, that steam, that crinkle. How many times have you thought, it's just popcorn, how bad can it be? The answer is simple. Bad enough that researchers and watchdogs have spent years sounding alarms. Bad enough that lawsuits have been filed. Bad enough that harmless is the last word you should use to describe it. This isn't just a snack. It's the opening act in a much bigger story, a story about how everyday foods are engineered, packaged, and sold in ways that put convenience and profit over health. And popcorn is only the beginning, because while the buttery smell fades quickly, the damage can linger long after. And if you think popcorn is the worst offender, wait until you hear about the next snacks hiding in plain sight. Flavored chips that disguise themselves as crunchy comfort, and store-bought muffins that wear the mask of a morning treat but hit your body like sugar bombs with frosting. These aren't just indulgences, they're traps. And seniors are often the ones who pay the steepest price. Flavored chips and muffins, the crunch and the sugar bomb open. A bag of flavored chips, and the sound is like a starter pistol for your cravings. The salty dust coats your fingers, the crunch echoes in your ears, and every bite feels harmless. But the reality of those flavored chips is far from harmless. They are carefully engineered, not just cooked. The powders sprinkled over each crisp are chemical cocktails designed to keep you reaching for the next handful. Monosodium glutamate, artificial flavor enhancers, colorants that mimic spices, preservatives that extend shelf life. The chips don't just taste salty and tangy. They are designed to light up your brain like a pinball machine. And while younger bodies may shrug off a late-night binge, seniors pay a heavier price. Salt levels in one small bag can rival or exceed a full day's recommended intake for an older adult. That means blood pressure spikes, fluid retention, and added stress on kidneys already working overtime. Pair that with the oils, often cheap vegetable oils that oxidize quickly under heat, and you've got fats that inflame arteries, raise bad cholesterol, and increase risks of heart events. The crunch you love masks the slow burn happening inside your body. One snack bag isn't just a guilty pleasure, it's a trigger. And for those on blood pressure medication, the sodium surge doesn't just cancel progress, it actively fights against it. But chips aren't alone in the disguise. Walk down a grocery aisle in the morning and you'll see neat trays of muffins wrapped in cellophane, stacked high under banners calling them breakfast. Muffins carry an aura of wholesomeness. Maybe it's the blueberry speckles or the word bran on the package. Maybe it's the bakery look of the paper cup they sit in. But most store-bought muffins are nothing more than oversized cupcakes without the frosting. They are sugar bombs, disguised as morning fuel. One muffin can pack more sugar than a can of soda, and more calories than a fast food burger. Add to that refined flour stripped of nutrients, cheap oils for moisture, and artificial flavors to simulate fruit that's barely present. For seniors, this combination is a direct hit. Blood sugar spikes cause energy crashes that mimic fatigue or even dizziness. For those managing diabetes, it's a roller coaster that makes control harder. And weight gain from these innocent breakfast choices creeps up faster than you realize, straining joints, raising blood pressure, and fueling a cycle of poor health. The danger is in the disguise. Chips wear the costume of crunchy comfort, muffins wear the mask of breakfast tradition. Neither tells you the truth, that they are engineered sugar and salt delivery systems designed for shelf life and addiction, not nourishment. And because they are marketed as everyday items, people forget the toll. Seniors eat them thinking, it's just a muffin. It's just a snack. But each one chips away at stability, at heart health, at blood sugar balance. Ask yourself, how many mornings have you started with a muffin and coffee, only to feel sluggish hours later? How many afternoons have you opened a chip bag thinking it's just a treat, only to notice the swelling in your ankles that evening? These aren't coincidences. They are cause and effect, hidden under layers of sugar, salt, and artificial flavor. The worst part is consistency. Eating these once in a while won't end a life, but day after day, year after year, the damage compounds. Arteries harden, blood sugar control slips, weight creeps up, energy drains away. And for seniors, that slow erosion often leads to hospital stays that nobody connects back to the snacks that caused them. So the next time you hold a chip bag or unwrap a muffin, remember, you're not just eating food. You're eating a formula designed to hook you while hurting you. And in a world where convenience always comes first, that formula is easy to fall for. But the worst offenders are still waiting. Because if salty crunch and sweet sugar bombs seem dangerous, wait until you hear about the neon-colored cheese puffs that leave stains on your fingers, and the so-called health bars that claim to fuel you but are nothing more than candy bars in disguise. Cheese puffs and granola bars, the fake comfort foods, open a bag of cheese puffs, and the first thing you notice isn't the crunch, it's the neon dust. That powder clings to your fingers, your clothes, even your couch cushions. It's fun for a moment, almost childlike. But behind the orange glow is a lab experiment masquerading as food. Cheese puffs are puffed corn soaked in cheap oils and then coated in powders that only pretend to be cheese. Artificial colors, flavor enhancers, and stabilizers are the real ingredients. The bright hue doesn't come from dairy, it comes from dyes. The tang doesn't come from fresh cheese. It comes from chemicals crafted to trick your brain into thinking you're tasting something real. For seniors, that bright orange glow might as well be a warning sign. The oils used are often hydrogenated or heavily processed vegetable oils, the kind that raise LDL cholesterol and inflame arteries. One handful might not do much, but snack after snack, day after day, those oils layer damage into your cardiovascular system. Sodium content is sky high, far beyond what an older heart should handle. Additives like monosodium glutamate create flavor explosions that hijack your appetite, pushing you to eat more even when you're full. The bag disappears before you realize it, and the aftermath is bloat, thirst, and strain on systems that don't recover as easily with age. Then there's the false friend of the snack aisle, the granola bar. Marketed as energy, health, fuel for busy lives. The wrapper shows oats, nuts, maybe a drizzle of honey. But open it up and what you often get is a candy bar in disguise. Many granola bars are glued together with corn syrup or high fructose sweeteners, loaded with chocolate chunks, frosting, or yogurt coatings that are little more than sugar blends. The oats inside are often processed until their natural fiber is stripped away, leaving you with calories that hit like sugar bombs and fade just as quickly. For seniors, this sugar roller coaster is particularly dangerous. A granola bar at 10 a.m. spikes blood sugar, followed by a crash that leaves you dizzy, fatigued, or irritable. For someone managing diabetes, that spike and crash can complicate control and leave lasting consequences. And just like with cheese puffs, the illusion makes it worse. People believe they're making a healthy choice, grabbing something light instead of candy. But the body doesn't care about marketing, it only reacts to the ingredients. And what those bars often deliver is empty sugar and calories that stick around your waistline, strain your insulin response, and contribute to creeping weight gain. The tragedy of these snacks is the disguise. Cheese puffs are presented as fun, harmless comfort, while granola bars are dressed up as health foods. Both are illusions built by packaging and advertising. Seniors are particularly vulnerable because they trust the labels, trust the branding, trust the decades of messaging that say these foods are harmless or even beneficial. But the truth is darker. They erode heart health, destabilize blood sugar, and load the body with chemicals it never needed in the first place. Ask yourself, how many times have you eaten a granola bar on the go, believing it was good for you, only to feel a sugar crash an hour later? How many times have you mindlessly crunched through cheese puffs until you reached the bottom of the bag, then wondered why your ankles were swollen by evening? These aren't coincidences. They're consequences hidden under neon powder and glossy wrappers. The worst part is how these products are normalized. Nobody blinks when they see cheese puffs at a party or granola bars in a kid's lunchbox. They've been absorbed into culture as safe defaults. But for seniors, every handful and every wrapper is another push toward fatigue, high blood pressure, and metabolic decline. And this isn't even the end of the trap. Because if fake cheese and candy bars in disguise can fool you so easily, what about the next category? Snacks like jerky and trail mix. Food sold as rugged, natural, and protein-packed, but often drowning in sodium, sugar, and preservatives that punish your body more than they fuel it. Jerky and trail mix. The hidden salt and sugar bombs. Jerky is marketed as rugged fuel, the protein-packed snack you can take on hikes, road trips, or just keep in your pocket for energy on the go. The packaging shows cowboys, mountains, the great outdoors. But peel back the wrapper, and what you often get isn't simple dried meat. It's a strip of sodium and preservatives so intense it could send a senior's blood pressure soaring before the last bite. Traditional jerky may have started as a survival food, lean meat dried with salt. But today's versions are more like chemistry projects. High levels of sodium, sugar glazes, nitrates for preservation, and sometimes even MSG for flavor enhancement. One serving may not look like much, but who eats just one serving? By the time you finish a bag, you could easily exceed the safe sodium intake for an entire day. For older adults managing hypertension or heart disease, that's not just risky, it's dangerous. The tough, chewy texture also masks another problem: hidden sugars. Many jerky brands glaze their strips with sweet marinades to balance the salt. Teriyaki, barbecue, honey smoked. These flavors are popular because they hook the palate. But each one adds sugar, and for seniors managing blood sugar or diabetes, it's a trap. The body doesn't see rugged protein, it sees a processed product spiking glucose and straining the kidneys with salt. Add nitrates, which have been linked in research to certain cancers when consumed regularly, and you've got a snack that's far from the wholesome fuel it pretends to be. Then there's trail mix, the snack that looks like it walked straight out of a health magazine. Nuts, dried fruits, maybe some seeds, all good, right? Except most store-bought trail mixes are loaded with candy-coated chocolates, sugar-dusted raisins, yogurt-covered pretzels, or salted nuts roasted in cheap oils. That turns what could be a nutrient-dense snack into a sugar and salt bomb disguised in earthy packaging. The healthy hiker's choice suddenly becomes a bag of empty calories designed more for your sweet tooth than your muscles. For seniors, trail mix can be deceptive. A handful feels light, but it can contain hundreds of calories, dozens of grams of sugar, and enough sodium to undo a day's worth of careful eating. The dried fruit is often not just fruit, it's fruit rolled in syrup and sugar. The nuts aren't raw. They're roasted in hydrogenated oils that raise cholesterol. And the colorful little candies sprinkled in? They're pure sugar that hit the bloodstream fast, causing spikes and crashes. For someone with diabetes or heart disease, those swings aren't just inconvenient, they're dangerous. The danger of jerky and trail mix is the same as chips and muffins. Disguise. They wear the mask of health, of protein and energy, of natural simplicity. But behind that mask are additives, sugar, and sodium levels that punish the very people who trust them most. And because they're marketed as portable, as convenient, they slip into senior diets easily, at the doctor's office, in a car ride, in a hospital waiting room. The illusion of health makes them even riskier, because you never question them. Ask yourself, how many times have you grabbed a handful of trail mix on a trip, only to feel sluggish an hour later? How many times have you eaten jerky thinking you were fueling your body, only to notice your heart pounding, or your ankles swelling from the salt? These aren't quirks, they're consequences. For seniors, every bite of jerky or trail mix eaten thoughtlessly is a small betrayal. Your body needs protein and healthy fats, yes. But what these products deliver is a chemical storm wrapped in rustic packaging. And while you may feel full in the moment, your body pays the price long after. And if you think jerky and trail mix are deceptive, wait until you see the next category. Because diet sodas and processed cheese slices aren't pretending to be rustic, they're pretending to be safe alternatives. But the truth is, they may be the most dangerous illusions yet. Diet soda and processed cheese, the dangerous illusions crack. Open a can of diet soda, and the sound is reassuring. The fizz, the bubbles, the promise of sweetness without the calories. It feels like a loophole in the system. You get the taste you crave without the guilt. But that illusion has fooled millions. And for seniors, it may be one of the cruelest traps of all. Because diet sodas are not safe alternatives. They're chemical cocktails built on artificial sweeteners that confuse your body and punish your health in ways sugar never could. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame or sucralose are designed to trick your tongue. They deliver sweetness many times more intense than sugar, but without calories. The problem is your brain and metabolism don't get fooled so easily. Your body expects calories after that sweetness hit, and when they don't come, your hunger signals spike. You end up eating more later, offsetting the calories you thought you saved. Studies have linked these sweeteners to metabolic disruption, increased cravings, and even higher risks of weight gain over time. For seniors trying to control blood sugar or weight, it's a vicious cycle. The very drink meant to help ends up making control harder. And then there's the darker side. Some research suggests links between long-term use of certain artificial sweeteners and neurological issues, headaches, and gut microbiome damage. The gut, the part of your body that controls immunity, digestion, even mood, is thrown off balance by chemicals it doesn't recognize. For seniors, whose gut health is already more fragile, the result is bloating, indigestion, weaker immunity, and greater vulnerability to illness. The fizz may feel harmless, but it's a daily chemical stress test that your body eventually fails. Now let's move from the can to the slice. Processed cheese slices, wrapped in plastic, stacked in perfect squares, sold as quick and easy sources of calcium and protein. They melt smoothly on sandwiches, they stretch across burgers, they look and taste familiar. But real cheese is made of milk, enzymes, and salt. Processed cheese is made of dairy byproducts, emulsifiers, artificial coloring, and preservatives. It's not a slice of nutrition, it's a slice of chemistry. The dangers are layered. High sodium content pushes blood pressure higher, straining aging hearts. Saturated fats in artificial blends raise cholesterol levels, increasing risks of stroke or heart attack. Additives like phosphates, used to keep the cheese pliable, have been linked to kidney strain and bone weakening when consumed regularly. For seniors already dealing with kidney function decline or osteoporosis, those slices are not harmless convenience. They're fuel for the very problems they're trying to avoid, and the illusion cuts deep. Diet sodas are marketed as better than the real thing. Processed cheese is easier and safer than traditional. But both hide the same truth. They are cheap substitutes engineered to mimic the real foods they claim to replace. And in doing so, they rob your body of health while pretending to protect it. For older adults who grew up trusting labels and believing in light and diet branding, the betrayal is personal. These aren't mistakes, they're traps. Think about the last time you grabbed a diet soda on a hot day. It felt refreshing, but hours later, your stomach rumbled, your hunger spiked, and you found yourself reaching for snacks you hadn't planned on eating. That wasn't weakness, that was chemistry playing with your brain. Or remember unwrapping a slice of processed cheese, laying it on bread, telling yourself it was a simple, wholesome lunch. But what you really ate was a lab product that offered little more than salt, fat, and synthetic stabilizers. For seniors, the consequences of these daily choices add up fast. Diet soda doesn't prevent diabetes, it may worsen it. Processed cheese doesn't strengthen bones, it may weaken them. The disguises work because they tap into nostalgia and convenience, but the bill always comes due. And if you think those illusions are bad, wait until you see the final betrayal. Because even snacks that look healthy, raisins coated in yogurt, dried fruits with shiny white shells, carry secrets that turn sweetness into poison. And only at the very end will we reveal the two snacks that actually deliver what they promise. Simple, nourishing safety in a world of deceptive food, yogurt-covered raisins and the safe alternatives at first glance. Yogurt-covered raisins look like the perfect compromise. Sweet, chewy raisins wrapped in a creamy white shell that feels wholesome, almost indulgent in a healthy way. Parents toss them into lunchboxes, seniors snack on them as a lighter dessert, and stores display them as better than candy. But here's the truth. That shiny shell is no health halo. It's sugar and oil disguised as yogurt, and the result is one of the most deceptive snacks on the shelf. The raisins themselves are already concentrated sugar. Drying fruit doesn't just preserve it, it intensifies the natural sugars into bite-sized energy bombs. A small handful of raisins equals the sugar of a whole bunch of grapes. Then comes the coating. That glossy yogurt layer isn't real yogurt at all. It's usually a mix of sugar, hydrogenated oils, milk powder, and stabilizers, blended into a smooth shell. There's little to no probiotic benefit. Instead, you get saturated fat, more sugar, and a false sense of eating something good for you. For seniors, the consequences are especially harsh. That combination of dried fruit sugar and coating sugar spikes blood glucose quickly, leading to crashes that leave you drained, shaky, or dizzy. For those managing diabetes, it's a nightmare disguised as a treat. The hydrogenated oils inflame arteries, raise cholesterol, and put extra stress on the heart. And unlike candy, which at least admits what it is, yogurt raisins wear the costume of health, tricking you into eating more than you ever would if they were labeled honestly. This is the final trap of the snack aisle, the sweet disguise that fools even careful shoppers. Because it doesn't look like junk food, it sneaks into pantries without guilt. Seniors trust it, thinking it's safer than cookies or chocolate. But the truth is the impact is just as bad, if not worse, because it comes cloaked in a lie. So where does that leave you? After microwave popcorn, flavored chips, sugar-loaded muffins, neon cheese puffs, candy bar granola, salt bomb jerky, sugar-laced trail mix, and chemical diet sodas. It feels like the snack world is nothing but landmines. But here's the good news. Not every snack is a trap. There are still options that deliver nourishment without disguise. The first safe alternative, unsalted raw or lightly roasted nuts. Almonds, walnuts, or cashews in their pure form provide protein, healthy fats, and minerals without the sodium, sugar, or chemical additives of processed snacks. They satisfy hunger, stabilize blood sugar, and protect heart health instead of undermining it. One handful goes a long way, fueling instead of depleting. The second safe choice, plain Greek yogurt with fresh fruit. Not the candy-coated version, but the real thing. Unsweetened yogurt, rich in probiotics that support digestion and immunity, paired with fresh berries or banana slices for natural sweetness. For seniors, this combination offers protein, calcium for bones, and gut health benefits without the sugar bombs hidden in yogurt-covered snacks. The truth is, healthy snacks don't come with neon colors or shiny coatings. They don't need dramatic labels or promises of light and diet. Real food speaks for itself. Nuts taste like nuts, fruit tastes like fruit, yogurt tastes like yogurt. The moment it comes in a wrapper with a cartoon or a promise, it's probably hiding something you don't want. So the next time you walk down the snack aisle, remember this. What looks harmless may be the most dangerous choice of all. Yogurt-covered raisins aren't probiotics in disguise. They're candy pretending to be healthy. And for seniors, the difference between the truth and the disguise could mean the difference between steady health and another hospital stay. Choose simple. Choose clean. Choose snacks that don't lie to you. Because your body has earned honesty, and it deserves better than the traps waiting in those glossy packages.